Hello everybody, welcome to Daily Entomologist, and today I'm going to go through a very general and beginner way of starting your own insect collection. So, Grizzly suggested on one of my videos that I do a video on starting your own insect collection and how you would go about doing that. So I figured it was a pretty good idea. So that's what I'm going to do. Now I'm not going to get into depth on a lot of things. This is going to be a pretty much very general, broad way for people who want to start getting into insect collecting and wanting to start their own collection and how they can go about doing that. So kind of first step is insects. Where do you get them? You can go outside. Some people only collect already dead insects that they find on their walks or whatever. That's a great way to build an insect collection, especially if you're a person who doesn't want to kill insects for a collection. Collecting already dead specimens is a fantastic way to do that. I do it. If I find a specimen that's dead but still in good shape, heck yeah, I'll take it. Nothing wrong with it at all. I got some really fantastic species that way, actually. But if you're more like me and like go out in the field to collect insects and everything, you're going to need some equipment. Standard for all entomologists, a butterfly net. I have a couple different ones. This is just my pocket net that I take if I'm traveling on an airplane or something. It folds up and has detachable handles I can take off and whatever and fits in my carry-on. But there's cheap nets you can buy at general stores and stuff for really cheap. So insect net is a must for any entomologist or a person just starting out making their collection. Okay, so you're out in the field, you have your net. Show you some stuff I have in my field bag. Water bottle. I have some equipment that's probably for a different type of video. Vials. So you can use anything, medicine container, baby food jars, anything that has a lid on it, you can use as a vial to keep insects in. I use a couple different sizes because they're fine. I even have these big ones for larger specimens. Now I tend to keep all my stuff in these while I'm in the field. But I also carry little jars of ethyl alcohol for ant collecting. And I also carry some larger vials here that carry alcohol as well. And for collecting butterflies and moths if you're on the field, in my opinion, an absolute must are glassine envelopes or triangles. You put the butterfly or moth in here in the field, keeps them from destroying their wings, keeps them nice. And ever since I started using these many years ago, you never want to go back. So if you're getting to like a serious collection, taking it more seriously, building a nice, and you want nice specimens of butterflies and moths, glassine envelopes and triangles. So collecting insects is the easy part. It's afterwards that a lot of steps are necessary to keep, organize, and grow your collection and make it something that you can be proud of. So I often get asked how I dispatch my specimens. I use a couple methods. Generally, like if I'm keeping that stuff in the vials, I take the vials, bring them back home, and put them in the freezer. And that's the simplest, most common way to dispatch your specimens. If you don't want to wait until you get home and want to dispatch the specimens right away in the field, alcohol. Most insects, well, it's pretty much common sense what insects you can put in alcohol and which ones you can't. Butterflies, moths, you generally don't. But like flies, beetles, wasps, bees, true bugs, if they fit in the vial, I usually put them straight into a vial of alcohol in the field. One, it saves room in the vials if I'm catching other larger stuff. And two, it dispatches them right away so I don't have to worry about it. It saves room in the freezer. Another way are these kill jars here. I got these from BioQuip. They have plaster of Paris. I put a fingernail polish remover because it has ethyl acetate in it. Put some paper towels in here and the fumes will kill the insects pretty quickly. I also have some homemade killing jars. Just put some layers of cotton or paper towels on the bottom, a fingernail polish remover, and then put a couple layers on top so the insects don't get caught underneath in the wet towels and stuff. So kill jars are also an option. I tend to not use them as much anymore. I usually either just wait till I get home, put them in the freezer, or I put them straight into a vial of alcohol. So those are a couple of various methods that I use. They work fine. And what most other collectors like myself use to dispatch their specimens. So you get them. You got them to. Now what? Well, now you have to. Comes to the part where you pin, spread, or whatever. I'm actually going to do a couple separate videos on pinning different types of insects. But you want to use insect pins. Okay. I see pictures of other people pinning their insects with sewing pins or glass-headed pins, and I cringe every time. But sometimes that's all you have. But if you can, and if you're able to, definitely get actual insect pins. Because they're made specifically for entomology and pinning insects. There's different sizes ones. I get size number 2 and size 0 for all my stuff. But I'm going to go through all that in like the actual specific pinning videos. So you get your pins, you pin out your insects, you get them on a drying board, and boom, drying board, they're all pinned out and everything. Most stuff on there, butterflies and moths, spread them out like this so their wings are presentable and all that type of stuff. Pinning and spreading insects and specimens is probably the most tedious part of insect collecting. But if you want your collection to look nice and neat and have really nice looking specimens, it's fantastic to take the time to go through all that. Real quick, go through a couple things to help with general identification. So, like here in North America, a go-to guide for most beginners is the Kaufman Field Guide to North American Insects by Eric Eaton and Ken Kaufman. Eric's awesome. I've been friends with him for a couple of years now. Fantastic book, fantastic for beginners. He actually gave me another copy because I wore my first one out. So this is definitely a need to get guide for people in North America for insect identification. A couple other different guides I have are Peterson Guide to Moths of Northeastern North America, and here I have a Guide to Western Grasshoppers. So there's all sorts of different types of guides and stuff you can use. Obviously online resources is fantastic. For North America, Bug Guide, fantastic. Even Facebook has different entomology related groups, insect identification groups. So there's all sorts of references for helping you identify your insects. One of the most important things a collector can do: put labels on your insects. Otherwise, if you just have an insect in a pin, it's literally just an insect on a pin and totally worthless to science. Having locality labels with dates, location, and all that type of stuff gives specimens their value to contribute to future science records and all that type of stuff in the field of entomology. So, and I actually have I made a video a while back on actually how I make labels. It is outdated though, because it was how I make my old labels, and I make a different type of label now. So probably should do a new one. I don't know. What do you guys think? I can do that. I can do a new one with my new, how I do my new labels. If I'm doing pinning videos as well, so I might as well just do another label one. So please, 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 insect pins and labels. So housing your collection. This can be simple to complicated. For me, how I started out is my grandpa actually made me wooden display boxes, and I just put styrofoam on the bottom, and that's how I kept my insects, because that's all I needed at the time. My collection was small. I was just beginning. I had no clue what I was doing curation wise for collecting, and it worked just fine. It had a glass top. It was awesome. But if you don't want one of those, there's a couple different options. I use these Whitefield boxes that I get from BioQuip. These are excellent as permanent or temporary storage of your collection. At this point now, I just use these to help me sort and when I'm doing labels and identification, all that type of stuff. But these are excellent. Another option are these wooden boxes you can also get from BioQuip. They're really beautiful boxes. You see here, full of robber flies. I think these are Schmidt boxes, actually. There's various different types you can get, but these work wonderfully. If you want these, I feel these are more secure than the Whitefield boxes. So if you're able to, and your collection is small, and you don't mind them not being in like a special display case, I go with these ones. Then of course, if you get to my size collection and or want really advanced in your collecting, get Cornell drawers with of course these are all identified and all that type of stuff, and unit trays and all that stuff, labels identified, everything. And this is how I house primarily my whole collection. So you have a couple different options there. Totally up to you. Depend totally on your situation, how much you want to invest in this hobby. If you want to display for others or just like keep them, but housing your collection is totally up to you. Just make sure it's airtight, sturdy, and you can keep them in there without fear of them breaking or anything bad happening to them. Now there are different ways to keep pests out, but I'll probably just do that in a different video. There's various things you can get on BioQuip that you can put in your collection to keep pest insects out from destroying your collection. So you can look on BioQuip and just read that type of stuff. So I think that's going to be a general overview of how to start your own collection. I apologize that you had to stare at my face the whole time. Like I said, this wasn't going to get into depth very much, just a quick overview. I'll be doing some pinning videos on different pinning videos on how to pin various orders of insects. So I'll have one on butterflies and moths, on beetles, on flies, bees, wasps, and all of it. So I'll cover all that on various videos there. Probably do a separate video on how I do my updated labels for my collection. So I think that's going to be it for this video. So if you're just starting out, I hope this helped a little. Probably not the best beginner guide to starting an insect collection there is, but it's what I got. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you some pointers. If you have questions, comment below and I'll answer. And I'll start doing those other videos I'll be posting here. So hope you liked it. Comment, like, subscribe, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.